positions. 11, they should be treated as such. The Bears are back, baby!
Hello and welcome back to episode 53 of i75Live. We have a full episode planned of golf. Football is officially back this weekend. Finally. When it comes to college.
Jeez.
NFL still have to wait a little bit longer. We finish up some of the preseason signings. There's two big names that we can mention that we've been talking.
Suspension that finally happened.
Suspension that finally happened. And then we'll talk about some of the big college football games this weekend that are going on. We also have a cool little video that Vanny was nice enough to film and send us.
Our
that
college
we will,
football expert, Vanny.
Yes, we'll go fourth and long. And then, like we mentioned last week, we've got some fantasy. Me and Dylan have both picked either our bus of the year, our sleeper of the year, and our league winners of the year. And a couple of each.
Did you see the craziness, by the way, speaking of college football, since it kind of started last week? Did you see about the fight with the quarterback's brother and his dad?
Oh my God. Yeah.
What the hell? Like, I mean, what would you do if that was me and Jake? So Dawson, me and Jake, after one of your games, we get a brawl like that. What would you ban me for life?
I don't know if I'd ban. I mean,
better to fight yourselves than others.
I'd be like, really? Like, what are we doing?
In Ireland, of all places.
Yeah, I saw that. I sent it into our group chat.
That's
that
hilarious.
shit was so funny.
It was pretty funny.
That's hilarious.
To start, though, well, actually, this kind of just happened. How long ago?
Breaking news, less than an hour ago.
56 minutes ago, less than an hour ago. The new jerseys came out for the NFL Rivalry, the AFC East, and the
NFC West.
Let's
NFC
put some
West.
of those up on the screen while we're showing these.
Yeah, I think they're a little bland. They're a little like kind of when the NFL did the color rush to where those were so like in your face colors.
Yeah.
These, it seems like they didn't want to do that to the Bills are just kind of all white.
I feel like they missed a massive, massive opportunity to just bring back the old, like, classic uniforms that NFL teams used to wear. Like, the Patriots, you've been very outspoken about wanting the blue and reds back with the stripes going,
and the big Patriot on the side. Yeah.
It's called NFL Rivalries. So it's like, you're celebrating historic rivalries. Why not use historic jerseys from those rivalries, from those years, instead of...
That's a great idea.
But
I love the Dolphin one, though. The Dolphin one's pretty cool.
Y'all are going to have players die on the field.
The Dolphins
playing in Miami in black jerseys.
The Dolphins are pretty cool. It's like Miami Vice, like Grand Theft Auto 6 type vibe. I liked Miami. I also liked Arizona. I thought Arizona's was cool with like the desert.
The Seattle Seahawks, that kind of sort of looks like Oregon a little bit.
That's kind of what Dylan said. I like the 49ers.
As long as we can all agree that the Jets are the worst.
The Jets are lame.
It's like they forgot to put any.
I think they forgot about the Jets, and then they were like, "Oh crap, the Jets."
They're gonna post one like in 30 minutes saying we forgot to take off the black and white filter. That's our bad, and they're gonna
do what Cracker Barrel did and say, "We're sorry, we were just kidding. We're gonna go back to the old logo."
They could.
So I think it's cool though that we're adding jerseys. I think fans love it. It reminds me a lot of the color rush, but it seems like they
don't even use the color rush.
Yeah, they
anymore.
got rid of those.
I loved those jerseys.
And those were so in your face to where they kind of dialed it back a little bit to make these uniforms maybe last a little bit longer.
Do you think they're looking at other sports though, like Major League Lacrosse, PLL, or soccer? Like
Jake brought up a good what they do with MLB, the City Connect jerseys.
Yeah, to where NBA does it too.
And if you look at Boston, like the Boston Red Sox, their jerseys are like green and yellow, not even close to what their original colors are of their logo.
I'm not a fan of,
but it's stuff like that to where it seems like the NFL with these, they really tried to stay within the colors of their teams, but make them not so in your face to where they're manageable to kind of use and wear for years to come.
I want to see the Bears green and yellow like the Packers. That's what I want to see.
I mean, the NFC North is next year.
In all orange,
the AFC North too.
An all orange uniform for the Bears would be awesome.
They already have those though.
Cool. How often do they wear them though?
I mean, this year they're not wearing anything but the blues and whites because of Virginia McCaskey passing away. That's like to honor her somehow. I don't understand that. But yeah, they wear the oranges like 4 times a year normally.
I think the oranges are great. Even like the Dolphins, the old Dolphin orange uniforms, those were so much. They were really cool.
Awesome. They do.
Get into golf though. The PGA or the FedEx Cup was last weekend in Atlanta. Tommy Fleetwood finally wins a tournament after starting over 160 professional golf events
and never winning.
Never won. He had the most top 5 finishes to someone who has never won a tournament before. So I think
got to feel good.
Everyone was rooting for him. I would
10
say
mil.
Yeah,
10 million too.
And this also, so this kind of goes into our conversation we had last week of the scoring changes that they did to this tournament.
He would have lost to Scheffler by 1.
I saw a tweet to exactly what you just said. Yep. If Scheffler would have started 10 under the way that it originally was a couple years ago, Scheffler would have won by 1 stroke.
1 stroke,
which is crazy because
Fleetwood also had
top 5. But
no, I think he finished like 6 or somewhere in there. But it's crazy though because if Scheffler plays the last couple days of that tournament, 100% completely different if he has the lead and has those 10 strokes compared to how he was playing because he was trying to play catch up the whole tournament.
Yeah.
And he hit a water ball on 15 on Saturday or Sunday that really hurt him.
That put him out. That was it.
And that was it for him. So it really, really changed the dynamic of how they played this tournament.
But that's what they wanted, though.
That's what they wanted.
So did it work?
I'd say it worked. You got someone who I think would have come in and he would have finished second again. And Scheffler would have won, and it would have been the whole, Scheffler wins again.
Yeah.
So because it
Tommy.
was changed, I think it changed a lot of things of how the players played the tournament because it was just like a normal tournament, and it wasn't just the top guys kind of playing conservative while still playing, a little bit aggressive just to hold their lead to where we saw it. Scheffler had to. He had to take risks. He had to take those shots because he had to try and score low to where if he would have had that shot lead, he doesn't do.
Well, listen, I think the PGA got exactly what they wanted because it was must-see golf and it worked. Otherwise, it would have been maybe a runaway. If Scheffler could have run away with it and then nobody's watching on Sunday. So I think they got what they wanted.
And it could have also forced Tommy Fleetwood to play different because he knew he had to really score low to catch up to the winners. Yeah. So he would have been doing things, way out of trying to take risks of going for green, not laying up, not.
Yeah, so you play totally different.
You play totally different.
Or up by 4.
And this
or
is the argument that a lot of people had. I think it was great because it gave us this, but it gave us a real golf tournament, not the top guys playing conservative just so they hold their lead.
Yeah, you earned your way into the top 30 because you played so well through the year. Yeah. You earned your way in, and now guess what? Go for it.
You should get. Yeah, you should. I love the change. I really do. I was not familiar because, obviously just got into golf in the last year, but I love the change. I'm very happy that they start on a level playing field because, it's no coincidence that the first year this is happening, we get a first ever winner.
It's like, imagine the World Series and they start out and the team that won the All-Star game, they get a 3-run lead in game 1. Like how dumb would that be?
Yeah. Well, even in like the Super Bowl, it's like the Super Bowl, you had the best record in the NFL. You had, you had the MVP on your team. So you guys get to start 7 points. You get a touchdown.
Changes the way you play the game.
And you get to start with ball.
It changes the way.
Yeah, that's great.
So that's why I think looking back for the people who were mad that it wasn't, and I would say, me personally, I was a little bit on the fence of, hey, you did very good the whole year. You kind of deserve to have a little bit of a lead. I'm kind of eat my words on that to what we watched because it really made it for a way more interesting tournament.
Sunday, especially Sunday.
It was fun.
It was a great tournament, and we got a really good story out of it.
Yeah.
To wrap up NFL preseason, because, that's all the cuts have been made.
It's freaking over, man.
Rosters.
Let's play.
So the last couple deals that have been made,
why did this not happen? Why did neither of these happen before training camp?
And
I'm always curious.
There's one that I don't understand at all, and I'll explain myself. But Terry McLaurin, 3-year, $96 million. I think that's well deserved. That's what he wanted.
Yeah.
He's been in Washington for since the beginning of his career, right?
Yes.
He's been through the mud with all of them, finally have a good year last year, make it to the NFC Championship. I think it was they should have done it a little quicker to kind of reward your player who's 100%. Been there, who could have left.
Get him in for training camp, especially.
So I really like this. I like that they did this. For the people who kind of weren't picking him in fantasy and you kind of got him in the third or fourth and fifth round.
Were picking Debo because of that?
Yeah, so that maybe plays in your favor. So I'm happy for Terry. I think that's a great signing. He's a great receiver. Now pair him with Debo and what we saw with what Jaden Daniels was last year. I think I have my concerns about Washington. I think they're a little bit old defense.
I mean, they're old all around.
Their tight end room is old. Yeah. Even Debo, you can kind of say even Terry, you can kind of say is a little on the older side.
They're gonna need to reload after this year. I think this team is primed for a run. I think they've got a lot of veteran leadership. They've revamped that defense through the draft too. They've made some very good picks. And they've signed some people in the offseason as well. So I think they recognize that their window is open, but it may not be. Depending on how they build up after this year through free agency, drafting young talent, it may be a pretty short window, kind of similar to the Bengals. Because we thought the Bengals were going to be on this starts like a 7-year Super Bowl window. Haven't been back to the playoffs damn near, most of the years that they've, missed the playoffs last year, missed the playoffs year before too, right?
I think so.
So yeah.
They are in a very hard division, so that doesn't help them. But
the Eagles
at the same
Cowboys
time,
Cowboys aren't no slops,
yeah.
and it's
so the next one you bring up the Bengals.
Yeah,
Trey Hendrickson. Our Bengals fans, because I said I don't think you're going to be at the beginning of the year. I think you and me both said that there's no way they're going to sign all three: Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Trey Hendrickson.
Which this isn't necessarily a signing.
It's not, and that's what I said to them.
It's just a raise.
That's because as soon as this year's over, you're in the same boat.
To square one. Yeah.
So your extension, that's not.
You give him the pay raise that he deserves, and I think it's a win-win. Trey Hendrickson gets the money he wanted, and the Bengals didn't want to be on the hook for him after he turns 31. So I think they're probably headed for a divorce after this season, or maybe he does it again, and this year they're finally like, okay, you can have a 2 or 3 year deal. We'll pay you what you want, but
So I see. To me, this isn't an extension. To me, this is
a bonus. This is a 1 year bonus.
Yeah, it's like a 1 year bonus.
He's earned it.
For our guys that have said, I told you so. I personally don't see this as they signed all three of them.
Both teams, like the team and the player, won. This was the best case scenario, I think, for everything that has happened up until now. I think this is probably, no one's unhappy. No one is. And the Bengals needed this.
100%.
Bad, dude.
100%.
Bad. They also, this is completely off topic, but the Bengals actually just went and signed pretty damn good guard too, because they've been having some offensive line issues. So Dalton Risner, I think is his name, who's very high level guard for the Broncos, just hasn't really fallen anywhere yet. But last thing, this happened yesterday. I think we would have had already finished filming right when this happened.
So
it's it's good that we waited a day.
Rashid Rice.
About friggin' time.
Now hold on though. I'm hearing reports that the NFL originally wanted 10 games.
10 to 12.
But Rashid Rice's agent and team got it down to 6.
What a surprise.
How I don't understand that. Like, you're the NFL. Fucking put your foot down like you did with the Tom Brady situation, like you did with the Calvin Ridley situation. Like, why are you hearing out his agent of why he shouldn't get 10 to 12
I'm surprised
games.
They're not going to let him pick the 6 games he has to sit out.
Yeah. I feel like they did want to suspend Tom for more with the whole Deflategate thing, and then they ended up
you mean the Deflategate that they never found any evidence for, and that
never really happened.
He allegedly did that, and he wasn't able to be anywhere near the facility. He wasn't able to participate anywhere for the first 4 weeks. But while Rashid Rice has been in preseason, every single practice, played
almost
the whole
killed some people. Yeah, I mean, come on, give me a break.
So I'm happy that he got suspended, and I'm happy that they got this done before the season started.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, we've seen the NFL just kind of be like, we really don't care what anyone thinks.
There's
we're the NFL.
There's double standards.
And I don't know why they didn't put their foot down and be like, no.
Because it's the Chiefs. I'm so over the Chiefs. Yeah, the average fan probably doesn't know.
No, I know it was kind of funny because as soon as it happened, we did one of our drafts on Sunday night,
brother,
and you got Mahomes and Rice, and it was like, hey, that's if he doesn't get suspended, and then this came out.
I will say, I would be a lot less happy if my first two picks weren't preparing for this moment by taking Justin Jefferson and Drake London. So I'm just fine in the receiver portion. Was that a humble brag?
I mean, it was.
I've got Jefferson.
Seriously.
I've got Drake London. I've got Rashee
Jefferson.
Rice. Ooh.
I skipped him. I had a chance. Remember Dawson? I didn't take him. He went the next pick, but I didn't take him because I just don't feel like he's got a quarterback that can get him the ball.
Oh, doesn't matter. He didn't have a quarterback that could get him the ball last year, brother.
That's what I've been trying to tell him for weeks.
I might have to eat my words. We'll see.
For some players, it just doesn't matter.
And
that's
Jefferson,
what I've learned.
I think, falls into that
It just doesn't matter.
But
There's
hey,
probably like
more
three
power
guys.
to you. You made a choice.
Same thing with Brian Thomas.
I made a choice and I'm sticking to it.
Brian Thomas has to do it again, this year with, Trevor Lawrence, but last year he proved it did not matter who was throwing him the ball.
No.
Sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's freak of nature.
College football, though.
College football.
It is officially back. There are games on tonight. There are games on Friday night, Saturday night. But the big ones that everyone are talking about, let's start off with, I don't want to, LSU, Clemson. I know a lot of people are high on Clemson just because they feel, a lot of reports have come out and said they feel like this is Debo's best team since Trevor Lawrence was there. They have I'd say, Heisman candidate quarterback of what people are saying to Klubnik. So he's coming back. LSU, though, they're notorious. They've lost their last five openers.
Yeah.
Do they still have that same coach?
Brian Kelly.
Notre
Dame's old quarterback.
Now,
he's going to start pounding the desk.
I will say, though, you know how you and me, we were looking up transfer rankings.
Yeah.
So I heard it this morning. LSU on something technically has the number one, quote me if I'm wrong or correct me if I'm wrong, from what they said on the radio this morning. LSU has the number one transfer portal ranking class, whatever, for coming in this year. They also have Nussmeier coming back.
Yeah.
He's, I would say, another Heisman watch candidate. A lot of experience compared to some other big teams in the SEC that we really have no clue. Like Georgia, have no clue what Gunnar Stockton's going to do. I think South Carolina, you could say the Sears guy. He played last year.
I think South Carolina is going to be pretty damn good this
year. But
you
can really go down the list. Florida could be really good too.
I think
Lagway could be very.
Love Lagway.
So, but there's a lot of question marks with some of the big, even Alabama.
Arch Manning, Texas.
Well, Texas, Alabama, Texas with Arch, and then Alabama with their new guy. He's
been there. I think he's a redshirt freshman. Well, he's been there like 2 years.
Was with, I want to say he was with Alabama when Nick Saban was there, and now he's transferred to Alabama. Yes.
Good God, how many years has he been in college?
Yeah. So anyway, I think LSU has a lot, and Brian Kelly, I would say, is on the hot seat this year. If he does not,
he should already be on the hot seat.
I think, but even more to where if he starts out, if he loses this game to Clemson, and then he doesn't make it to the SEC championship or be competitive and beat some of these top teams.
If they win anything less than 10 games, he's gone, I think.
And I would maybe say that about the Florida coach because he's kind of been on the hot seat and now he has the, this huge quarterback and all of this. So it's very interesting the way the SEC is, I think, going to shake out.
And they're just switching to their new schedule, the SEC.
Yes.
They're now like the Big Ten. So they play now 9 conference games and they have 3 traditional opponents that they'll play every year. But for those other 6 SEC games, they rotate every single year so that you're playing every team every 2 years.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
No, it's what it needed.
The SEC is going to be a bloodbath.
Yes. Speaking of SEC Big Ten, though, Texas goes in to play Ohio State in Columbus. Now, I don't know if Chris has seen, but did you see all the Dave Portnoy stuff?
Yes. Portnoy.
That, to me, it really makes me laugh because Ohio State,
they're acting like little brother.
They have the whole saying of Ohio versus everyone and all this, and everyone's against me, and we take all the shots, and we still come out on top. And then you're letting a little, maybe not little, but Barstool. you're banning him from, and then doubling down. Fox came out and said
that wasn't us.
We didn't do that.
We don't have jurisdiction
we literally
to ban
signed,
people from a college
We literally
campus.
signed a contract to do this with Barstool. Why would we ban them from going to the opening game of the season against 1 versus 3? Chances are this could be a national championship.
So
at the end of the year.
So
and doubling down. No, we didn't. Why would we ban him? And his video that he made, I thought was hilarious and really was just totally like, you guys should be worried about Texas, but you're worried about the guy coming and talking before the game even starts. So I love it. I think it's what makes, even if you're an Ohio State fan, you can probably agree with me. It's what makes football, and especially college football, awesome, because you have these just rivalries to where you hate each other. Like you hate each other so much to where it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me when it comes to, because in my opinion, you should want that. Like you should want that attention. You should want that kind of maybe hostility or vibe around this game to like bring in as much attention as you can. Mm-hmm. And it just seems like they're this Ohio against me and everyone. And then when it really comes down to it and people make fun of them, they like get all butthurt and mad and you can't make fun of us because we're Ohio State. You can't do it. But
what happens if Ohio State loses again this year to Michigan?
That'd be 6 years in a row.
Back. I mean, they've got Underwood starting an 18-year-old quarterback, which 18-year-olds starting in college has become the norm, apparently. If you're ready to play, you're playing. But it's going to be cinema.
Their coach got suspended, too, because of everything that kind of happened with. So I know their head coach isn't going to be there for, I think, the first 3 or 4 games. I can't exactly remember. But yeah, the Portnoy thing, I think it's
hilarious.
And he said it best. He said, this is what makes sports awesome. We hate each other. If you don't hate something, like I bring up Mahomes and Brady. You either love Mahomes or you hate Mahomes. You either loved Brady or you hated Brady. Mm-hmm. That is, I think, what makes sports awesome and special, and why different fans from different teams can come together to dislike a certain player or a certain team. Mm-hmm. I think it's funny, and I think it's hilarious, even more funny, that they're doubling down that they're the reason they're not the reason why he's not showing up. And I also think that this could be a problem, because when we start letting schools have the authority and power to like ban and say people aren't allowed to show up to their schools or events when they really haven't done anything.
Say goodbye to game days.
I think it's hilarious though, because what's he going to do? Like broadcast from 3 blocks down at the pizza joint?
No, they're just going to,
they're
going to do it at the studio.
No, he got more publicity out of this deal. People are like, I'm going to listen to his podcast. I'm going to watch what he has to say now.
I have
where
to
it was
see
the best publicity he could have ever gotten.
Oh, Portnoy's happy as hell this happened.
Oh yeah, he's loving it.
Eating it up.
And he should
Loves it.
Next one, though, I'm actually going to plug in Vanny's clip right now, because he has...
He's our SEC expert. He gave us a rundown of all the different SEC matchups.
He had I'm doing it now because he had a little bit of a hot take about the Notre Dame-Miami game, but I'll play it right now.
What's going on, guys? Vanny here. I'm so excited to be back on I75 Live for the first time in a while. For those of you that don't know, I recently took an AD job, so I've been very, very busy with that. But I've got a few minutes just to go over, because this weekend college football starts. Let's start off with the big first game of the day. We got Texas at Ohio State. Texas rolls. Absolutely rolls. We got Georgia Marshall. Georgia's still going to take care of business. Alabama and Florida State. Will the Seminoles bounce back from last season? I'm not sure. I still am going to roll with Bama in that game. But then we've got a number 4 Clemson versus a number 9 LSU. I truly believe that the Tigers, they go in and they win that game. They take care of it. Michigan versus New Mexico. We've got Michigan in that game for sure. How about Tennessee and Syracuse? This is a really cool matchup. It's in Atlanta, Saturday at noon. So it borders that Texas and Ohio State game. So Tennessee had some off-season quarterback issues. I don't know what's going on there. But we're going to roll with the Vols, unfortunately, there. But then we've got, how about South Carolina and Virginia Tech? This will be a good matchup. We can see what Shane Beamer can do in, year 4 or 5, so we'll see what happens there, and we'll take South Carolina in that game for sure. And then number 6 and number 10, Notre Dame versus Miami. I've got Miami in this game, guys. I really do. I think Miami's going to build off of what they did last season. I've got Miami taking it. And then the most important game of the weekend, Kentucky takes on Toledo. Kentucky by 90. You guys take it easy. We'll see you next time.
He believes in Carson Beck?
Yeah, that's what I want to. Carson Beck.
What? Okay.
Yeah, Tim, he's picking, like you just heard, he's picking Miami to beat Notre Dame. It is in Miami, so maybe that plays a little bit into some of his thought process.
Carson Beck.
But yeah, my only question to you, Vanny, is Carson Beck.
Man.
But do you guys understand, though? Do you know the real rivalry between Miami and Notre Dame? So I was just listening to sports radio in Miami
Catholics
yesterday.
versus criminals.
Jimmy Johnson. So Jimmy Johnson national championship.
About that.
Jimmy Johnson national championship, and he was talking about this game where literally a ball got fumbled.
Catholics versus criminals.
And Miami lost the game to Notre Dame. Lou Holtz got his only national championship. He never would have gotten. If there was instant replay, Miami wins that game. He clearly did not fumble the ball. Miami should have kept it. Miami should have won. They hate Notre Dame. They this is a massive rivalry that I think everybody, your guys' age, you've completely forgotten
they have a
about.
document. It's called Catholics versus Criminals. That's like their whole rivalry. That's between those two.
It's real.
It's hilarious.
They are stoked in that town.
It was back.
Miami
It was
right now
back
about
when
this game.
Ed Reed and Sean Taylor were at Miami and Ray Lewis. It was all of that. Like this turn of the 2000s.
Jimmy Johnson would have had another
90s.
national championship.
Yeah.
Well,
this is a.
And Lou Holtz would have never had one.
I forgot completely
And
about
this
that.
game, and I think the last one, I was talking to you about this
Upset.
earlier. These could be maybe.
You think
trap
FSU is
games.
going to beat Alabama?
I think they're going to
That's
beat
not
Alabama.
me. That's him.
I think they're going to beat Alabama.
So yeah, the last one,
I think it could
Alabama,
happen
FSU.
too. Actually, it'd be kind of funny.
But it is
FSU?
yes, at FSU could be a little bit of a trap game. Alabama has a brand new quarterback. I know they're receiving
brand new a
quarters.
lot of things. I know they have Ryan Williams, but they lost a lot of players this year.
Yeah, and now I don't know how good Florida State. I mean, Florida State.
They brought in a
ever
pretty good
since-
transfer class, and I think they brought in a new quarterback too. So it'll be interesting. I can't wait.
No, these are the four that we kind of circled that we're going to be paid attention to the most.
Yeah.
Alabama, though, I don't see it. I don't see them kind of.
Yeah.
And I could be very wrong. I just trust the way FSU kind of handled stuff last year, and how they just kind of cried wolf and boo-hoo, everyone needs to kind of feel sorry for us and all this. I didn't like that, and I think that stemmed from the head coach down to where he allowed his players and everyone to kind of be like that. I'm gonna pick Alabama in this. I know we're kind of not picking them. I'm just gonna enjoy it. I don't think Alabama's gonna go in there and lose.
I don't know.
You seem to think different though, which I hear you completely. I wouldn't be surprised if it happened.
I think the best game is probably going to be, obviously probably Texas and Ohio State, but I genuinely think that game.
And thank God we're going to be able to watch it because YouTube TV, I know you, but me, they have a temporary deal through the weekend. So everyone who has YouTube TV will be, I know the memes were going around of if I can't watch
a
this
black
game.
screen.
So yes, that game will be on YouTube TV if you do have it. Thank God, at least for this week, and then we'll. I think they're gonna have to do something. They'll figure out something.
Probably.
It's so funny though how some of this stuff happens. Like literally, like what were they doing 3 months ago?
By design.
That's what I mean. Like it all is done. It's such a perfect timing. You know what else? Speaking of perfect timing, before we get into 4th and long, actually, you know what? I'm gonna save it just in case it's one of his questions, and if he doesn't cover it, I'll bring it up. But to introduce 4th and long again.
Oh, here we go.
On a 4th and goal. 4th down and 20. 4th and 21. Not the way you want to try to extend it.
One of my favorite segments we've added. And Chris has been giving us awesome. Again, we do not know any of these questions. That's why I'm going to save to see if he's going to ask what I was just.
The only person that knows these actually is when I share them with Jake. I'll share them with Jake. Sometimes he's like, "Dad, that's a stupid question." So he's like, "That's really or word it this way. Give him a chance to don't give him the answer." So anyway, so here's where we go. So listen, 4th and long. I'm excited. So what do you think is harder for an NFL GM or head coach? the draft or cutting down their roster to 53 guys?
That's a good one.
It is a good one. That's a really good one.
I would say probably cutting down the roster.
Yeah, because you're with these guys.
Those are guys you drafted sometimes.
Yeah, guys you drafted.
You're having to decide.
You've created relationships with them. You've practiced with them. Some of them don't do anything wrong, and they've played perfect, but they're just not good enough.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like for the draft, I mean, I've heard Sean McVay talk about this, where it's like, you do all of this research on this guy and you like fall in love with this player and like everything that you think he can do for your team. And then he gets taken before you can pick.
Yeah.
It's stuff like that. And so there's a lot of emotions that you have to battle through, I think, for both. But I think it's a little bit more personal when you're cutting down a roster right after training camp.
That's hard.
Yeah. Because, I mean, at the same time, it's like, yeah, it sucks that you missed out on the player, but someone's still drafting him. It's like you're having to tell someone, we don't have a spot for you to get paid on this team. Yeah. Someone else is going to have to take a chance on you. Or, we'll re-sign you to the practice squad, try again next year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think definitely cutting down rosters.
Do you think they should tell these guys, look, I think you can play in the NFL, or should they do what they did in the olden days where Don Shula would be like, look, you need to go back to college and become a doctor because you're not good enough for the NFL?
I don't think,
world's too soft for that now.
Yeah. And I think some people we've seen it of guys who do go back to college, increase their draft stock.
I'm not saying go back to college to play. I'm saying go back to college to get your degree and go get a job.
Go be an insurance salesman like Jake Fromm.
Yeah, that's right.
I think that just kind of depends on who's mentoring you and who's in your corner of that decision.
Okay. So here's another one. So speaking of the 53-man roster, Dan Campbell came out and said it's not 53, it's 69. Of course, referring to the 16 guys on the practice squad. And God knows, we know he needed his practice squad last year, right? With all the injuries they had.
Yeah.
But the biggest surprise cuts that came, the Jets released their linebacker, Jamin Davis. Right, he was a former first-round pick.
Yeah.
The Giants cut Tommy DeVito. He did get picked up. Dawson knows all about that.
Patriots,
you can share
baby.
that. The Patriots. And so let's see. The Buccaneers. They got rid of linebacker Nick Jackson.
Yeah.
He was a standout.
Shiloh
The
Sanders.
Lions released Hooker, that quarterback,
Hendon Hooker.
and others were like Michael Gallup, wide receiver.
Kendrick Bourne.
KJ Osborne got released. What do you think about that? Where were your biggest surprises?
I think I was very shocked to see the Patriots release both Kendrick Bourne and
Cole Strange,
Marcus Epps, who they just signed, and Strange, who first round pick, started I think almost 2 full seasons worth of games for
He was hurt a lot, but yes.
Yeah, so I think there were a lot of shockers. Some veterans that got cut too. The Bears cut a 3rd or 4th round receiver, Tyler Scott, in favor of the guy that caught the game winner against the Chiefs, who is an undrafted guy from Texas, Jahdae Walker. So there were quite a few that I looked at and I was like, ooh, okay.
So some of those are business decisions too.
Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast where the guy was saying, look, if you have a veteran that gets veteran pay, that you have to even pay veteran minimum, and then you got a guy that's a 6th or 7th rounder, and if they're kind of equal, you're taking that 6th or 7th rounder a lot of times because of the money, because of the upside.
Yeah.
It's a business, and that's the business part of the sport.
Well, and what I like too is some of these, like I know the Falcons, I can't remember exactly who it was, but they were talking about they signed a couple guys in the offseason to, I think like 1 or 2 year contracts.
Yep.
And they're not on the team. They got cut.
Yep.
So to me, that shows, hey, the Falcons might be in a great spot right now because they're truly letting these guys compete, and the best player got the spot. Not, hey, sign this guy, he's a veteran, we got to keep him on the team, just cut the rookie, we'll put him on the practice squad if something happens. So I like that aspect of certain teams to where it's become so, just competitive that these teams are truly letting these guys compete, and the best 53 are making the roster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, did you hear
just saying that, hey, he's a veteran, he has to be on the roster.
Yeah.
Like we have to.
Well, the Falcons, though, what was surprising, a lot of the guys, because once you get cut, you go on the waivers
another
for
team can pick
24
you up.
hours on the waivers, and then anybody can get you, right?
Yes.
Well, a lot of the guys, like nobody got anybody that the Falcons cut.
Yeah, so
nobody picked them up.
Going
so now they're putting them on the practice, but they didn't get picked up. So even the guys that they were so high on, it was like, did nobody else see that they were high on them? And
well,
so
no, I mean,
the Titans cutting Restrepo too, the guy that had so much chemistry with. I know he went unclaimed too, and he's back on the Titans practice squad. But it's like, is there really not a spot for him? Like, just as someone who's got the most, what's the word? Cohesiveness and like connections with Cam Ward.
Another one that's because I thought he was playing really, really good is Hunter Renfrow got dropped.
Yeah.
Or got cut.
Yeah, why?
I don't know. I don't think anyone picked him up, so he might be back on the practice squad for Carolina.
And they just traded Thielen too, so it's like
they have
McMillan, and then I know Jalen Coker they were very high on, and then Xavier Legette. But after that, it's like, do you really have like 2 or 3 other guys that are better than Hunter Renfrow at the 4 spot just to fill in and slot? Yeah, that made no sense. I saw that. I was shocked.
What I think is cool is it's become just so competitive, and you just really, I mean, you could have guys come into training camp, not make a single mistake, play perfect, do everything right, and they still don't make the team. And it truly is.
It's almost like there's a hidden agenda, Shedeur Sanders.
Well, and
that's actually my next question about Shedeur. So we'll save that.
Yeah, I mean, I won't go into that if that's your next question. Yeah. It's just, it's hard. And I don't think a normal, and I can't, I mean, it's not like, oh yeah, I made a team, so I've been there. I know what I'm talking about. But normal people, and this is what I say with football all the time, is normal people just turn on their TV, watch the game on Saturday or Sunday, Monday, Thursday, whatever day it is that football's on, and they watch the game. And that's what it is. They don't really see all the preparation, all the game planning, everything. For the average fan, I would say.
God, I just can't.
Or how good you really need to be to play in the NFL.
Have to be to play this game. And, they're making millions of dollars to play a game. Yeah, well, these guys do on a daily basis, you couldn't do in a month when it comes to physical activity for a normal average person.
Maybe ever.
I just can't resonate with the average sports fan. It's just not, doesn't make sense to me. I crave over this.
I love it. Okay, so speaking of Shedeur Sanders, let's go back. So Dylan Gabriel, little controversy, right? Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders, they came out and they were like, look, when you look at the real numbers and you look at all the plays, you realize that Shedeur was not given the same opportunity, or maybe you think otherwise, not given the same opportunity to play. I mean, was there some kind of agenda there? I mean, what do you think was really going on? And then my question really, should they trade one of these guys off that team to let one of them thrive and let the other one go thrive somewhere else?
They should have, but they already traded Kenny Pickett to the Raiders. The Raiders. And so, they have Joe Flacco and then also both rookies. And Dylan
they could still trade one of those guys. I just don't think you keep them both. I think you're doing one of them a disservice.
Well, you are doing one of them a disservice, and it's very clear who, and it's even more clear after the fact. Like I don't think there's any room to think that there is not a hidden agenda and like clearly people in the Browns office that don't want Shedeur. Because it's one, when he played that last preseason game, yes, he got hurt for game 2, so that is on him. He wasn't healthy to show, the full package in week 2. But week 3, 4 out of the 5 offensive linemen that were blocking for Shedeur in that game got cut. They took Shedeur out for the last 2-minute drive to put in Tyler Huntley,
who they signed because they literally signed him for injury because all their quarterbacks were hurt,
and then cut him.
Yeah.
Why don't you give those reps to Shedeur? He's the rookie. Tyler Huntley has made a Pro Bowl. It sounds crazy to say, but he has. He's not he has played the league. You know what you're going to get from him. And clearly you already knew beforehand because he seemed like a foregone conclusion that he was getting cut, especially when you have 2 rookie quarterbacks. It just, the Browns are such a joke. And I think Shedeur, let's segue into this though, because guess who didn't win the starting job in New Orleans? The guy that they took 3 rounds before Shedeur.
My next question.
The 25-year-old Tyler Shuck, going to be 26 before he takes a snap. You're telling me that the Saints didn't even think about Shedeur at number 60, losing franchises. But again, it really makes you think that there is those rumors of the NFL actually telling teams don't take Shedeur. Like it's kind of hard not to believe that there's some substance to that.
To go before we go into your next one, I will say Shedeur, because of the name and because of everything, he was still a 5th round pick. So to me, you're not entitled to go out there and start with the starters.
No.
So that's kind of where my brain goes. But at the same time, though, it really does feel like they were throwing him in some of these situations for failure.
Destined.
And then at the same time, I go, but he's a 5th round pick. Like, if you're going to really make a name for yourself, you're going to have to elevate those guys that are probably going to get cut and try to, do the best with that.
Yeah.
So I see both sides of it.
Maybe they were trying to get him hurt.
I wouldn't say that.
So they could put him on IR and
I
not
really
take
don't
up
know.
a roster spot.
One thing I do agree with, though, is it really does seem like there has been a dilemma since the Browns took him he's not ready, he's not this, he's not that. And then the first preseason game we saw him in, it was like,
holy shit, he's
looks
awesome.
pretty ready to me.
If you put people around him that also look ready, all of a sudden he shines. And not shines, but he looked good.
This is what I said. If I'm a Cleveland Brown fan, and all of a sudden you're 5, 6, 7 games into the season, Joe Flacco's not doing, he'll have his moments, but he's going to look like Joe Flacco.
Are they really going to start? That's another thing. Like, what is the benefit with as shit of a roster as the Browns have now? Or
there's no benefit to playing Flacco. None.
Yeah. Do they really want to play Flacco like all 17 games?
If it was
is that the plan?
If it was up to me, I'd literally in my brain or in the organization go, okay, we're going to start Gabriel the first half of the year. If it goes good, let him keep on playing.
Yeah.
He was our third round pick. Let him keep playing. If he's just really average, numbers aren't the best, losing season, put Shedeur in for the last half of the season. Your 2 rookie quarterbacks, let them go hand to hand and make a decision at the end of the year, or keep them going into next year.
That's what you should have been doing in the preseason.
Yes.
Well, it's not like we've ever seen. I mean, come on, you guys know there's never been a 6th round quarterback that actually was successful in the NFL, right?
With the whole narrative,
I forgot.
Yeah, but even that doesn't even really. I don't
there's
even
others
think that
too.
matters.
What about Mr. Irrelevant, Purdy? I mean, they can't just look at the draft rounds of these two guys and say one was a 3rd, one was a 5th, so one's better than the other.
But that's what they're doing. But at the same time, though, this is kind of what I was saying, to where, in a way, you honor that, because if you're a 1st round pick, you're almost kind of guaranteed unless things just blow up to make the team. If you're a 2nd round pick, you have maybe some might get cut, but for the most part, all those guys are making, and you kind of get gifted that entitlement of being those higher picks. And that's kind of where I go with Shedeur, is sometimes I think we treat it as in he was a 2nd round pick. He deserves to be, where I kind of look at it from that lens and go, but unfortunately he doesn't, because he still was a 5th round pick. It made sense he was on the bottom of the roster when it came to quarterbacks, when it came to all of that. I hear you. But and to me, though, him making the team says everything, because I think if he would have hit waivers, he would have got picked up like that from anyone.
Yep.
So the Browns know, and it just goes to kind of what we've been saying is, I don't know what the hell their plan is. Like, I don't know what they're planning on doing.
I don't know.
And they still
they've
even
proven that they never know what their plan is. I mean, look at the last few years.
And that's a very good point to what you said. If it was truly up to me, I'd start Gabriel until he just shows he cannot do it or he's not ready. And the rest of the half, I would start Sanders.
It just makes no sense.
And then go
to
from
start
there.
Flacco, like, why even re-sign him? It's I'm glad I'm not
quarterback
a fan
hell
of,
of a team that literally.
They're not the only team, because my next question, Dylan, you kind of alluded to it. When you get down and look at the Saints, so Rattler now is named the starter. You got Tyler Show, who what? Rattler. Now it's just crazy to me, a 2nd rounder. So it just again goes to show that round shouldn't necessarily mean start, don't start.
And that's a good example of kind of contradicting what I just said, is the round didn't matter for Tyler. He got outplayed, buy Spencer Rattler. That's why we saw that do I think that's going to last? No, they're probably doing the same thing that we just said with the Browns, to where they're going to let Rattler go until he just completely messes it up for himself.
I just think Shuck is going to be terrible, dude.
And
he's going to be so bad.
There were just no flashes of practice, of preseason, of anything where it's like, hey.
His name just came out of nowhere. Just like, why? It doesn't
make a lot of sense.
I think it's great.
But it does.
I'm sure the Falcons are stoked about the Saints not knowing what they're doing.
It does kind of contradict what I said about Sanders of not having. But even that, though,
you should play.
You gave this guy probably first team reps, and he still looked bad. And
not everybody's an NFL quarterback. I mean, we know that. And just because you get drafted high, just because you get, Mel Kiper says you're great, doesn't mean that you are necessarily.
I have to imagine that Shuck was Kellen Moore's pick too. So what does that say about Kellen Moore's ability to develop or just identify talent? Good luck, New Orleans. Have fun.
So some more news, and I was actually surprised that this didn't get announced after the Rice suspension. So it turns out another Chief, Travis Kelce, engaged to Taylor Swift. ESPN announced it. I know that really got under Dawson's skin. He was like, why are we seeing this? Should be on People or, Style Magazine or something. But why is ESPN announcing it? Is this Travis's last season?
Yes.
Do you think this marriage is going to last? Is it even real? What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Okay.
I think
no. Let's keep this very short and sweet. I think this is his last year in the NFL, 100%.
Yeah.
He kind of already alluded to that. He felt embarrassed, as he should have been, because of the way he handled the Super Bowl.
Oh, dude.
I'm not going to comment on someone's personal life. We can sit here and make fun of it. We can do all that.
Oh, come on, Dawes.
No. If with anything, the dude's getting married. Good for you. You're marrying a... I wonder if they're getting a prenup. That's what I'm going to ask.
Oh, 100% there's a prenup.
Yeah, but it's going to be for him.
But, yeah.
It's for him, for right.
Do you guys, whatever, that's your personal life. I only judge people based, with what we do here, what you do on the football field. I really could give two shits what you do in your personal life, who you want to marry, who you want to date, whatever.
You hear that, ESPN? So you don't have to talk about it.
So
we're done. We don't want to see that crap in our feed anymore.
Congrats to you. I don't think the season is going to end with a Taylor Swift ring and a Super Bowl ring for the Chiefs.
Clip that.
I don't think it's going to end with that.
Here we go.
I truly don't. If it does,
God, you just did it to us.
You can eat my words. I'll eat my words.
I don't want to. They don't taste good. Those words suck.
I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't.
This will be the last year we have to hear about
That's all I'm going to say on that. Congrats to you guys.
Oh, wait. No. Another question. Okay, so here's how we'll know if it's actually real or fake. Are they going to keep going to Chiefs games after this year? Like, are we going to still see Taylor Swift, or is she just going to disappear into fairy dust?
Yeah.
Like, she never existed. Yeah. It was
I thought she was already going to disappear.
Just a fever dream.
That's right. Okay, guys. So the Powerball's $850 million, a 1 in 297 million% chance of winning.
Ooh.
Are you buying a ticket? If you win, what sports-related activity are you going to do with some of that money?
I'm buying the Chicago Bears. That's what I'm doing.
It's not enough. It's not enough money. So you can't buy the Bears. $850 million doesn't buy the Bears.
Buy a controlling stake in it.
I don't think my purchase would be something sports related, but
no. I want to know. It has to be not all of it. You're not going to spend all that money. I just want to know what sports related things would you do now that you're not currently doing because now you can afford to do it.
Dawson's putting $1 million on the Patriots winning the AFC East.
You know what? I would go invest in a lot of sports cards. That's what I would do.
See, now I thought you guys would say something like, I'm gonna next year I'm gonna hit every Major League Baseball stadium.
Yeah,
I'm gonna travel, hit all that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna buy the Bears.
Why would you take good money and throw it at bad money and buy a bunch of baseball cards when you got $850 million?
Those don't depreciate in any value. If anything, those cards and those things they just continue to go up. So I would invest it, and then that'd be cool to maybe go to every NFL stadium or every MLB stadium, of course. But I would definitely, I would take a good handful of that and go invest it in some sports cards.
Going to Vegas only for the Raiders, obviously.
Okay. Last question. Last question. So Keegan Bradley is the captain of this year's Ryder Cup team. He had a really hard decision to make yesterday. He had to announce his captain picks. He did not select himself. I'm sure it was tough. He's playing really good right now. He chose Justin Thomas, Morikawa, Ben Griffin, Cameron Young, Patrick Cantlay, and Sam Burns. Do you think he made the right decision with those guys, number one? And do you think he made the right decision with not picking himself?
Why didn't he pick himself if he's playing like one of the best golfers in the world?
I think if it didn't go good, he would have been the one to blame for him picking himself and being like, oh, well, the reason they didn't win is because he picked himself and he wanted to be a part of it when there were better golfers and better options. And so he was selfish and didn't. So I think he kind of saved his ass a little bit to where if they don't win the Ryder Cup, he can look at it and go, well, I thought I picked the best golfers, for Team USA. And, I didn't pick myself because I just didn't. So in a way, he's kind of making himself right, no matter. So the
captain, you understand
if
that
they win, he looks like a genius because he picked the right ones. If they lose, he still is kind of like, oh well, you should have played.
It's like that scene in Step Brothers.
Yes, you should have been on the team. You should have picked yourself, and then you would have won. And he would have. Yeah, I should have.
So the captain's role, though, you got to understand though. Yes. So let me just say this though: the captain's role in the Ryder Cup is really to coach the team, to watch the matches because they play against different guys, different matchups. It's a different kind of play. And so their job is supposed to be able to move guys, match up a certain guy with a certain player, knowing how to move, like playing chess almost. And they said if he played, he wouldn't have been able to do those things and be a true captain.
So maybe he's looking at it too, like he truly feels like that's his best contribution to Team USA to win the whole thing. I still think he's kind of made it to where he's right both ways, but I don't hate it. I don't mind it. I think I don't know if you could have gone wrong with any of them though. I mean, they're all so good. It really is just going to come down to who's playing good golf on, during the Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
When it comes, it could have been him. It could have been, Morikawa could come out and play like shit. And it's like, well, yeah, I should have played instead of him, but you just never really know. And these guys are all so good, and I don't mind it. I don't hate it. I think he kind of covered his ass both ways, no matter what. Like I said,
probably smart.
But I don't think it's a big deal.
Okay, that's it. That's all I got, guys.
Nice job.
That was it for Fourth and Long. Thank you.
Like we mentioned, we're going to get into. We're going to kind of do these a little quick, run them off fast. But our fantasy football, we have our Sleepers Bust League winners between me and Dylan. Chris isn't doing those. And then we have our round 2 of NFL season props to wrap.
They have already been submitted.
They have. Fantasy football, though. Sleepers Bust League winners. I'll go my bust of the year. I don't think Garrett Wilson is going to be very good this year. For one, I think he has the most inaccurate quarterback in the NFL now that Anthony Richardson is not starting. I do not trust Justin Fields in the slightest. I don't think he has a very good team around him. We saw that in the couple preseason games. A lot of
question marks around them, like new coach, bunch of new players, new culture. It's, no clue what to expect.
I know Garrett Wilson just got paid. I know everyone's, it's the Ohio State connection. They played really good in college. I truly don't care. I don't think Justin Fields is good. I think Garrett Wilson is he's been so riddled with just bad quarterback play. I'd say even with Aaron Rodgers, when he had Aaron Rodgers, it was just not, if he couldn't really break out with Aaron Rodgers, now all of a sudden we think he's going to break out with Justin Fields, who isn't even holds a candle.
Do you not think that relationship in college though matters? Because what about that Burrow?
I truly
what about
don't.
Burrow and that receiver he had with LSU that he's got now? That he's like
but
like
they
he knows what he's thinking.
They went straight from college to the NFL together. They didn't have that kind of years in gap time between playing with different players in the NFL. So I personally don't like Garrett Wilson this year. I think he's being drafted way too high for the production that you can get out of some of the other guys that you can draft around the same, round. I just don't think he's going to perform to what you're going to want that pick to do for you.
Yeah. All right. So my bust, Sorry, Chris. Tyreek Hill is not doing shit this year. I'm sorry.
Well, he had to give away all his money to his ex-wife or soon-to-be.
Which one? Probably.
I know.
And he may end up doing something this year, but he's going to be traded, I think. And it's going to be because either Tua gets hurt and he turns into, a guy that catches like 2 balls a game.
Hey, Ewers made the 53-man, so we're good, okay? We are good if Tua goes down. Yeah. Week 5, Tua goes down, Ewers comes in.
I don't even know the last time that I saw Tyreek Hill going in like rounds 2 and 3, but I still think like there, like Dawson said about Garrett Wilson, there's other guys that you can, trust more, are on a better team, better, just more consistent offense without, the quarterback issues. And so, yeah, Tyreek Hill is just not doing it for me this year. I've taken him in the past and he's been great, but no, not this year. I will not. I'm in 5 leagues and I will not be taking him, not even looking his way in any of them.
Fair. Yep. My sleeper of the year, I think Calvin Ridley, where he's getting taken for the opportunity and the amount of balls he is going to get thrown. Dude. I mean, you're getting a wide receiver 1 with Cam Ward. I'm seeing round 4, round 5.
Sometimes 6 and 7.
Yeah, he's right around there. I really like Calvin Ridley. I think, if the Falcons had a joint practice with the Titans, so we heard all about it. Mm-hmm. Calvin Ridley was all over the field, all over formations, slot, outside, motion.
He's a dog.
Everything, and Cam Ward has loved throwing his way. I think this could be maybe not a sleeper. Maybe I could have fit him in a league winner just because you're getting him in round, 4 or 5. But a sleeper pick that I don't think people are really giving him because they're just writing him off because he's on a bad team and the Titans and everything. I really like Calvin Ridley this year. I think he's going to play good. He's going to have a lot of opportunity. Mm-hmm. And I believe in him so much, he's actually part of my season bets for round 2 as well.
Yep. But no, I think my sleeper, I haven't touched him in season bets yet. I do have him on one of my fantasy teams, and Dawson sniped him from me in our other league. But Jaden Higgins is 6'5" and has CJ Stroud throwing him the ball. Nico Collins on the opposite end of him. He's going to be getting open a lot. Apparently, he has been building some serious rapport with CJ Stroud in camp. And so, yeah, I think Jaden Higgins might end up being one of the top rookie receivers in the class. And that inherently means that he had a damn good fantasy season. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to him, and I'm going to need him even more now because I have him in the league that I drafted Rashee Rice with. So he's going to be starting for 6 weeks.
Well, and no Tank Dell, no Joe Mixon to start the season. Yep. So all those targets, all those touches are going to have to go somewhere if Nico Collins draws all. So I like that pick.
Yep. And they've got enough around both of them, too. Like, they still have got Dalton Schultz at tight end, and they still have Christian Kirk in the slot. So there's enough to allow him to get open, too. Like, he's not going to be double-teamed, especially not with Nico on the other side. Yeah. I like that pick.
They also have a pretty good tight end, too.
Yeah, Dalton Schultz.
Yeah. My league winner, I had a couple players I bounced around. I'm going with DeAndre Swift. It will make Dylan a little happy. The reason why I'm going with DeAndre Swift is the Bears, correct me if I'm wrong, they have like one healthy running back right now. His name's DeAndre Swift.
That's all you need to win the Super Bowl, Dawson.
DJ Moore has been taking running back snaps. That's kind of how bad down they are right now.
I like DeAndre. So you did notice that.
I like DeAndre Swift, though, because we saw what Ben Johnson was able to do with the running backs he had at the Lions with Gibbs and Montgomery. I think DeAndre Swift is one of those guys being drafted very, very late. Yeah. He's going to have a lot of opportunity for a coach that is going to want to run the ball for play action. He's notorious for it. That's what he made his money with the Lions. Someone's going to get those touches. Someone's going to get those passes, the checkdowns, and everything. And DeAndre Swift being literally the only healthy running back right now on that roster, which doesn't look too good for you. No. But I think this is in for a lot, especially maybe early, to where you're able to get a starting running back with zero competition for touches in that backfield in round 8, 9, 10 maybe.
Yeah.
I think DeAndre Swift could be a league winner this year.
I think that's probably a pretty good pick. And mine, he's getting taken around the same kind of area too, like round 7 and 8. and I took him in our first league. Deebo Samuel is going to absolutely demolish where he is being drafted this year. I can't believe, honestly, that he's fallen off as much as he has in terms of like, popularity with fantasy. But I mean, are people forgetting like his last healthy season, he was probably a top 5 fantasy player, and he's going to an offense where he's not the number 1 option. So he is not going to be, the focal point on defenses. Terry McLaurin just got the deal. So he is going to, and after the year that him and Jaden Daniels just had last year, Deebo Samuel is going to be a nice change of pace, and they run a lot of jet sweeps and like sideline to sideline stuff. That's Deebo's specialty. So he's probably going to be lining up in the backfield some, catching a lot of screens, and he's absolutely going to be going over his touchdowns, which we will be talking about later.
Yes.
But yeah, that's my league winner, Deebo Samuel. If you can get him, draft him.
Yeah, though let us know if you have any guys that you've targeted or you've found been like, wow, he's still available. There's so many, and we only picked a couple, but yeah. I mean, you could go down the list, but those are our, 3 each of bust sleepers league winners.
Yep.
NFL season props round 2. Last week, I thought we did pretty good. We've got some good value. Some of those numbers have already gone up.
Picks.
This week, though, I will start off. I've got Trevor Lawrence over 22.5 passing touchdowns.
Also pretty low.
I'm going with this. He's got Liam Cohen as his offensive coordinator now. Last year had Baker Mayfield. Saw what he did with Baker Mayfield. Had over 4,500 yards. I think he had about 43 touchdowns, I want to say, on the year. And I would say Trevor Lawrence, just pure skill of throwing the ball, maybe has a little more talent than Baker. Could be wrong on that. I could be, not seeing that properly. But I think Trevor, he's taller. I think he has more zip on the ball. You have Brian Thomas Jr. now. You have Travis Hunter.
Yep.
I really like Trevor this year. If he stays healthy, because I know he's been notorious for getting hurt the past couple of years and only playing about half the season. If he stays healthy with his new coach, I think he has 2 pretty good running backs too, with Bigsby and ETN.
Yeah.
To where we saw what Bucky Irving and Rashad White did with Tampa with Liam Cohen. Good tight end with what's his name? His last name's Strange. I think that he has a really good tight end, kind of sleeper fantasy if you're looking for just a guy to pick up.
They let Evan Ingram walk for a reason. So it's
So I like him. I like Travis Hunter if he stays healthy. And I also like Brian Thomas Jr. and a team that they might need to be putting up a lot of points to keep up because their defense is not good.
No, it's not.
Historically. And they didn't do very much in the draft either.
No, they didn't.
To help that out. They kind of traded away a lot of picks to get Travis Hunter to play on both sides.
Yeah.
So I really like Trevor Lawrence. My next one, Calvin Ridley. Like I mentioned, I'm taking his over on reception, 68.5.
That's low, dude.
He's going to be the focal point of that offense.
Yeah.
Cam Ward is going to be looking at him a lot. I really like. I could have taken his yards too. He was sitting at about 950. I like his receptions though. Calvin Ridley. Like I mentioned before, that there's a reason why I think he could be my sleeper of the year. Mm-hmm. He's going to catch a lot of passes. Going to be the focal point. I really like Calvin Ridley this year.
Yeah, I think those 2 good picks, but I think. Where I'm headed, I've got a rookie as my first pick, and we talked about him slightly, a few minutes ago. But Cam Ward is sitting at 18.5 passing touchdowns. That's ridiculous. I mean, 18.5. If he starts all 17 games, dude, that's like 1 touchdown a game almost. And yeah, I get it. The notion around the Titans is they're not that good. They have a solid team. I mean, their O-line is decent. They've got good skill guys. Tony Pollard. Tyjae Spears when he comes back. But yeah, Calvin Ridley, I really think that Cam Ward is going to have around like 25 to 30 touchdowns. And he got named a team captain, so obviously he's already taken command of the locker room. You need that. He's got plenty of chemistry with his guys. And I do think their defense is good. And so
it was good last year.
It was good last year. And so I do think not necessarily, he's not going to light it up, but not similar to Trevor Lawrence, or unsimilar to Trevor Lawrence, he's not going to, be in those situations. But I think, 25 touchdowns. It's 19, really? For the first overall pick? I mean, I'd love to go back and see, because I know Caleb's line was around 24 last year. this might be one of the lower ones. Like, where is the disrespect coming from him?
Well, and there's no threat for him to lose.
No, he's not losing the job.
Unless he gets hurt.
He didn't get hurt. And it's his senior year. He was completely healthy. But my second one, Trey McBride. So his reception touchdowns is sitting at 4.5, which he only had 2 last year. But some stats to go along with that. I mean, he led the league in red zone targets, and he was one of the top target earners in the league, period, throughout the year. And so it's not crazy to think that, I mean, he catches 3 more of them. I think he's going to continue to be the 1 or 2 option in that offense all year. He's going to keep getting those red zone targets. And so, I think it's not crazy to believe that he gets the same amount of targets, finally catches some. And I took him in fantasy for that reason. But I do think he's one of the top tight ends in the league. So, give me the touchdowns. 5, come on. You could get that by like round 8 or week 6 or 7. Give it to me.
With the opportunity he does have.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so I'm going to take the Packers. I'm going to take Matthew Golden, rookie. Wide receiver, comes in with big fanfare. He's got 700.5 yards as his number. Look, they've been battling injuries up there. He stayed healthy the whole preseason. He was a first-round pick. This is the first time I think the Packers have picked in the first round a wide receiver in over 15 years. He's got a great play caller now. I mean, who else is Jordan Love going to throw the ball to? I think it's a good number. I'm taking the over, and absolutely. Dylan, I'm going to go with your league winner for my second pick.
Yep.
My second pick, I'm going to take Deebo Samuels. He's got 3.5 receiving touchdowns. For the Commanders, are you kidding me? He's their second option right now in their offense. Mm-hmm. They traded for him this offseason. I think they're going to use him all over the field. Yeah, they've got Terry McLaurin. We know he's going to get the ball, but there's enough to go around. I think Deebo for sure goes over that number. I wouldn't be surprised to see him get 6 or 7. He's going to get the ball. So that's what I'm going with. I think he's going to eat the whole season.
Got to stay healthy. He's been notorious, another one of those guys. He's kind of been hurt the past couple of years. But I think 3.5 receiving touchdowns for an offense that's got Jaden Daniels.
You don't have to play that many games to only get 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, that seems way too low.
Like I said, they played New York, the Giants, week 1. He really
he could get
a situation where he has them all.
He could get all 4 numbers.
3 out of 4.
Especially with Terry, because he hasn't done anything in the preseason, so he's going to have a little bit of a ramp up to kind of get up to speed.
Yes.
Deebo hasn't had any of injuries or any news of injuries, any issues going into it.
Yep.
So I think Deebo could be in for a really good year. Well, that will wrap up today's episode. Hope you enjoyed. If you have any Sleepers Bust League winners that you find yourself drafting, let us know. If you have any season props, we had some on last week, your Caleb Williams. We had some guys go, holy crap, yeah, you have a really good point.
It's free.
And then we had one guy go, maybe there's a reason. It's because he plays for the Bears.
There's always somebody.
There's always someone. But I think majority, they kind of were like, really? Like he got 20 last year with everything that happened. And now all of a sudden all this changes. He can't get 3 more to the shit.
In his second year, there's no way. He's going over.
So that was pretty funny. But if you have anything else, let us know. We're always, everyone's making their predictions. The last thing though, I wanted to say, and this is what I was telling you before. I hate, especially on social media, when people, and I'm gonna call out Flynn. Flynn's notorious for it.
Flynn.
He just did it with Michael Penix. I think for people like us, people like, are trying to do sports, trying to talk about sports, make predictions, do all this stuff. Say it. Make a prediction and you do it like the same way we just did with some of these players. There's a good chance we're going to be wrong. There's a good chance
we're right.
But there's a good chance we're going to be right. There's a good chance we're going to be wrong. But we've set ourselves up for that. See, the problem that I think most people have, exactly my point. Last year when we first started this thing, I said the Rams were going to be the number 1 seed in the NFC East. Well, I'm sorry, but if it wasn't for that snow in Philadelphia, there's a good chance they're playing in the NFC Championship game.
Yep.
So to me, I look at it and I go, if you're in doing this or doing kind of what we're doing, making predictions, do it and say it. Don't put yourself in a position to where Michael Penix, for example, if he comes out and plays really good, I knew he was going to play good. or if he comes out and plays really bad, I knew he was going to play bad. He didn't play in the preseason. He didn't do this. Like, of course, but if you're like, make a prediction and go with it. The same way we kind of did with some of this and some of our division winners, and make a prediction and stick with it and just jump off a cliff with it. And if you're wrong, you're wrong. Who gives a shit? That's what sports is. If you're right, awesome, you're right. Yep. But I think we see too many people kind of make it to where they're right no matter how it goes. And I hate that. I hate that. Make a decision, make a prediction.
The Bears are back, baby.
Even you, I give you credit.
Bears
like, I know
Super
you're
Bowl,
a little
baby.
delusional.
Super Bears.
No, we haven't gotten that far yet. But
just wait.
Don't make it to where you can be right or you can be wrong, and no matter which way it happens, you can say, "Yep, I told you."
I knew it.
I hate that. Make a prediction, go with it, stick with it, own it. If it doesn't end up being what you thought, who gives a shit? That's what sports is. Everyone does it, especially on mainstream media. Who cares? Yeah. Fantasy-wise, if Tyreek Hill ends up having 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns, Dylan's going to look at it and go,
we're going to play that clip over and over and over again. I'm going to.
Yeah, I know
the same way we did
Good
with
thing it's not happening.
So that's my little rant of my little spiel. Make a prediction and go with it. Don't sit here and make yourself right no matter which way it goes.
Play both sides.
Don't play both sides. Either own it or don't. So
I like it.
That will wrap up episode 53. Sorry for that little rant at the end. If you have, like we said, any fantasy sleepers, bust league winners that you find yourself drafting, let us know.
Or props.
There's a lot. And we only use Prize Picks because that's kind of
the only thing that's illegal here.
Yeah, it's FanDuel and some of those aren't. There's a few others. But our numbers are based off someone asked that. He's like, I have 4 different sports books and I can't find that anywhere.
Prize Picks.
We use Prize Picks. That's what we use it on. But yes, episode 53. If you have anything, thank you again for watching.
Follow, like, subscribe.
Enjoy college football this weekend.
Oh, it's going to be great.
It is finally back. Crack open a beer, hang out with your friends, get some Buffalo, whatever you want to do, and enjoy the great games we do have week 1. Normally, we don't see these type of games week 1. Normally, we just
Dawson, you get to try out that 70-inch now, don't you?
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
70 brand new TV, had to do it. So yes, episode 53. Thank you again. Comment, like, subscribe, and we will see you guys next week for the official week 1 of NFL football.
Sir, it's been real, guys.